afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. This is our coffee and conversation meeting for the day. An article I have here is 7 ways to get out of your mind when life is stressing you out. And this article is by drpatwilliams.com. So if you like this article, you can go to drpatwilliams.com. So let's hop into it. It says, have you ever felt like you were going out of your mind? Stressful days all piling up on you until your brain's spinning and your head feels like it might explode. Whenever we hear the phrase going out of our mind, we instantly think of it in a negative sense, feeling crazy, overwhelmed, or out of control. But being out of our mind can actually help you face challenges and feel happier in hard situations if you approach it deliberately. Current research studies show that the benefits of mindfulness meditation, as developed by John Kabat-Zinn and others. However, I find the term mindfulness a bit misleading, don't you? Because what you are really craving is emptying your mind and learning how to manage stress, not making it more mindful. So let's explore the idea of going out of our mind on purpose. It says modern positive psychologically research reveals the importance of positive thoughts, nurturing attitudes of gratitude, and how our beliefs create much of our own experience. Those benefits prove themselves out further in multiple studies that show meditation actually changes your brain in positive ways. Focused relaxation or purposeful pausing during your busy and distracting everyday demands can truly improve your life. Yeah, that's really big. That purposes pausing, like I always say, practice the pause button, and like that can go a long way because when life is stressing you out or people, places, and things stresses us out, we can pause and like really reflect and gather our thoughts. And, usually we have a better outcome. Like, instead of reacting, we can, pause and really think about what we're going to say and what we're going to do before we just react and say some not nice things or behave in a manner that's not appropriate, right? So it's like, let me pause, let me think about it, and let me like assess what's going on, and let me think about what I'm going to say and going to do before I cause more harm, conflict with my people, places, and things. Let's see here. So, but as you know, change and challenge can strike at any moment. If you make a practice of getting out of your mind and into your heart, you'll be ready for those out of the blue moments when they come, prepared to respond rather than react, and see multiple choices of action rather than just one. Yeah, because things, when we're heat in the moment, I can be reaction, right? I can react and say and do so not so nice things. And like instead of respond, like responding works out a lot better when I think about what I'm going to say and going to do first, instead of just saying the first thing or doing the first thing I think about, and that causes harm. I know that just personal experience. So it's just like out of the blue moments. So things just come and life shows up, and like, what do I do? And that recovery has taught me is like having coping skills, right? So I have better coping skills than I did before, right? It says science has now proven that our heart has the energy and cellular wisdom that, when nurtured, helps us live life more fully and gracefully. So learn how to manage stress by deliberately getting out of our mind and into our heart as regular as you would any other physical exercise. Wow. And that can be tough sometimes. Like, stop what we're thinking, right? Which is like non-existent, right? But like, focus on what's in our heart, because our heart and mind is two different things. Like, my mind's telling me this, but my heart's telling me that, so like, that helps with like when you pause and take a self-assessment or reflect on certain situations. So do I listen with my mind? Do I listen with my heart? So like that takes practice. That comes over time. And if we're like practicing on our spiritual condition, are we spiritually centered? what are we putting out in the universe? Are we grateful? Are we practicing gratitude? Um, the way we, what are we doing in life in general? How we treat others? How am I living life? And how does my actions line up with what I'm saying? So like our spirit, right, and our heart fills up when we practice principles and like helping one another. When we are not doing so good, it's harder to practice principles and be full of gratitude and seeing the positive things. So if we stay spiritually centered, you know, we can deal with life on life terms a lot better. And when stress, I think we all deal with stress, anxiety, depression. A lot of us do, you know. But I know for me, like if I practice um, dealing with my problems without drugs and alcohol and doing the right thing for the right reason, and sometimes just not doing the first thing that I think about or want to do, just pause and reflect, and it usually comes out a lot easier. Says you're a body, mind, heart, soul being, but we tend to spend most of our time and worry focused on the body, mind aspects, neglecting the heart and soul that also requires attention. Yep. It says the good news is you don't have to sit quietly under a scared tree or alone on a mountaintop. To reap the benefits of this process, you can do it in 5, 10 minutes increments throughout your day. In a private place you're designated, here are 7 ways to get out of your mind in a good way. Each of these easy activities will inc, inc I'm not sure what that word is. You against unexpected stress and help you feel good even when life gets overwhelming. So let's see what number one is. It says take purposeful pause throughout the day. So use your calendar to schedule me time and have to a place to go in your home or outdoors where you can enjoy a minimum or 5 minutes or quiet stillness, reading, listening to music, or meditating in some way. Those little breaks will help you feel focused and charged the rest of the day. Yeah, I definitely agree with this because, like, if we're like, we can get busy and nonstop doing something like work, family, friends, right? Life and life terms, whatever's going on in life. And if we don't take a pause or like a 5, 10 minute break, if we go somewhere just to reflect or just to think that we're just talking about in this article, we can get aggravated, we can get stressed out, we get, less, we don't have patience and tolerance, our patience, our principles that we're taught in recovery go out the window as we speak sometimes, because we get caught up, we're just go, 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 go. And we don't take the time to just like stay still and like gather our thoughts, right? And take a break. It doesn't have to be long. Like we talked about 5, 10 minutes. I think it definitely can do a great deal of good if we can do that throughout the day. It says number 2, learn to see everyday things in new ways. Any easy way to practice this is to look at a raisin and really contemplate it. Notice its color, its shape, its texture, its wrinkles, and other nutrients of its makeup. This is a practice of mindfulness taught in the biggest name schools today, such as Harvard, Duke, Columbia, and Johns Hopkins. Learn to see everyday things in new ways. So I guess like the day-to-day things that we experience, it's the repetition. We see things the same way every day, to I guess maybe see other things in a different kind of light. I'm gathering what this thing is, this number 2 is saying. I guess, our perception, how we perceive things and, have an open mind and see the bright side of things. And like, as they say in recovery, like see, the midst of the gray area, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm very like the black and white kind of guy, but like sometimes we have to change our perceptions, right? And we have to limit our morals, values, and beliefs, and like see other people's point of views, right? And that can be tough. So it's like remain open minded and like which takes practice. So there's number three. Remember the magic of simply breathing. Breathe is the exhale of life. We hold our breath when we feel anxious or scared. We increase our breathing when we feel nervous or stressed. Yet, if we become conscious of our breathing as a daily and frequent practice, you will notice a carry-over effect of calmness and readiness when stress pops up, allowing you to shift your breathing when stress occurs. Breathing techniques, you know, just taking a breath and focus on more of your breathing and not what you're thinking. Yeah, it takes the focus off of what you're going through. Right? We focus on not the situation or things that are stressing us out. Focus more on our breathing. It can give us a sense of calmness. That comes with like meditation. You know, like it says, like we get anxious or nervous or full of fear, with like our breathing enhances, right? And our heart rate goes up. It can add more stress and more anxiety. But if we can focus uh, more of our breathing and slowing it down, I think we have a better shot of reassessing and reflecting on what the situation is, and we can have more of a better outcome, whatever our situation is going on. So it's number four. So schedule extreme self-care. Self-care is very important. Take a walk on the beach or in the woods or by the water. Get a message, get a massage or a pedicure. Anything that feels like a special treat to you. Make time for it. You deserve this time to relax your mind after all you do for others. Yeah, I hear it a lot. Self-care is very important. There's certain things that I do for myself. I like to go fishing. I like outdoors. I like to do things on the outdoors. That's what helps me stay spiritually grounded. And you just find out what do you want to do for self care. What do you like to do that makes you happy and makes you spiritually refreshed? Everybody's got to have something, right? And if you don't, you need to find something, right? Because I see a lot of times of like work, 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 family, family, friends, friends, recovery, and not focusing on self. And we can lose ourselves in the midst of that. We gotta take care of our physical, our mental, and our spiritual. If we can touch on those three things, we have a better shot of being spiritually grounded. Number five, find a tribe. Join or create a group of like-minded people who are also on a path of going out of their mind on purpose. This could be a book club, art exchange, poetry reading, spiritual practice workshop, or just plain sharing or of needs with other caring souls. Yeah, I was just talking about this earlier, like finding our tribe of people that are like-minded. Because like for me, not just in recovery, but life in general. Like we have to be around people that are like-minded and understand, especially in recovery. Because we've been through a lot, we've done a lot, we've seen a lot. So I felt like when I got in recovery, like uh, I was so isolated and alienated that like I thought I was the worst of the worst. I can't share what I've been through or what I've done. Like I'm no good. I got things I made up in my head, um, and that kept me using drugs and alcohol. Right. So when I surrounded myself with like-minded people and started to share with them, they started to share with me. Right. And it's like, wow, I am not the worst of the worst. They've done the same thing. They've been through the same stuff, and they're living a good life. So it's like, uh, basically, I was trying to say, like, I felt alone when I came into recovery, right? Until I broke free of the guilt, the shame, the resentments, the fear, the anger, the frustration, and the loneliness, I started to open up and start to be more free and start to be more of myself. And that became more, it became more easier not to pick up drugs and alcohol, right? A sense of freedom, sense of freedom, freeing myself from, we talk about self-made prisons, right? Like, because everything was to my own doing, to my own thinking, right? To my behaviors and my thoughts and the things I was doing and things I weren't doing. So, like, I had to uh, open up and let other people know what was going on with me so I can get the help that I needed. And I had to surround myself. Everything I have today is because of other people in recovery, which I'm very grateful for. And like through my recovery process, now I give it back, right? I pay it forward. So let's see what number 6 is. It says, write your thoughts down often. It says, use a journal or write on your computer to dump what's on your mind out so you can be better, see your thoughts, hopes, and dreams. Who knows? Some beautiful things might surface in your writing that could help others, or you can keep these writings as your private narrative. Either way, this is an important outlet for feeling that once we are stuck in our mind. Yeah, I definitely agree with this, writing your thoughts down often. So a little bit what I do for my recovery is like I go to a 12-step fellowship, to better myself and better my recovery, and like having a sponsor and doing step work, right? So it's like writing your thoughts down, and they're asking you certain questions, and it frees me from self, really, from the things I've done, because we come in with baggage. We have a lot of things that we have on our chest and on our back, and we don't know how to get rid of them. Sometimes we like to hold on to this stuff, and usually it drags us down, right? It makes us depressed, makes us stressed out, creates anxiety. It's not healthy, right? Nothing. Um, I created my own misery for so long, so many years, and I held on all to this baggage that I had, and like I had to let go of it, right? I always say it's like imagine having a book bag on, right? You just kept on throwing bricks in this book bag. It's gonna weigh you down eventually, and so I had to like start freeing myself, start taking them bricks out one by one, and writing these things down, so like we can live life without guilt, shame, fear, resentment, anger, frustration, all the stuff that we come in with. We start to free ourselves from this, and that's what I do with my sponsor in the step work and the meetings I go to, and finding my tribe and like-minded people so I can share this stuff with. I start to be a better person, start to be a better son, better fiance, a better brother, co-worker. So like I start to learn about myself when I put it on paper. I can see it. This having it up here and put it on a piece of paper is two different things, right? I can actually look at it, right, and go back and look at it, and it's freeing of like writing these things down. Let's see what number 7 is. This is the last one. It says get moving. It says take a yoga class, play tennis, ride bikes or horses, dance, run, walk, or engage in any other form of physical activity. Often the process of moving our bodies frees up space in our mind. So do something for your body today. Yeah, it's always good to like exercise and where it is, the gym, ride bikes, stuff like that. So when you're actively doing something, you don't stay up here, right? And that's one thing I did in active addiction was isolate, right? And it drove me insane, right? It drove me to use more drugs and more alcohol. So when I got out of myself and started doing positive things, I kept the focus off more of Yeah, we don't like to focus on ourselves and our thoughts a lot of times, right? So we have to find positive outlets to just get out of ourselves, and staying active and being physically fit, being healthy is a good thing. So like me, I like outdoors. Like I said earlier, outdoors is for me, and it just physically it helps you, and like mentally and spiritually it helps me. So it's like a win-win situation. But I was telling somebody earlier that like you have to find your recovery process, right? You got to find out what works for you. And here, like at Capital Recovery Center, and for me myself, that like we welcome all pathways to recovery. One size doesn't fit all, so it's like we try to help you find your way and what helps. Because everything doesn't work for everybody. So that was our coffee and conversation meeting for today. Now, it's 7 ways to get out of our mind when life stresses you out. And this is by drpatwilliams.com. I want to thank you guys for joining. Happy New Year. And like I said, my name is Carl, I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. Until next time, we'll see you later.